Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday day. Hope everything is going well. Our topic today is 3 ways to cut your IT costs. Try and save you some money, help you be more efficient. Just trying to see what we can do to help. So today we have Lance back with us with UNI Computers.
How's it going?
Hey Lance. Yeah, thanks for joining us again.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so on trying to save, our clients on just anything, cutting costs basically for our current clients or for companies that, of course, are not currently with us. Trying to just talk about different ways that we can help save them money or be more efficient. The first bullet point that I had was just making sure your IT person that you've hired in-house or outsourced is just on your side and not looking at their pocketbooks. Lance, what do you have any initial thoughts or comments on that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of one of the biggest deals, in my opinion, especially when you are outsourcing your IT to a provider. You have to look at how they make their money, right? Are they on your side
Right.
or are they on their own side? Now, obviously, all companies want to be profitable, but in my opinion, the best way to have that happen is if the IT company that's servicing you is sitting on your side of the table and is making decisions that are best for you, and that's how they profit, then they're always going to be looking out for what's in your best interest as the customer of theirs, instead of how do I extract more money out of them all the time, because that's not really what you want. You definitely don't want to be writing your IT company a blank check. One of
Mm.
the most often ways I see that happening is when you are billed by the hour, which is a
Right.
way a lot of IT, it's way it's almost always worked in the past, and it's a way a lot of IT companies still do it, unfortunately. Um, and you're paying for them when you're broken. And if they work slower, you pay them more. If they have to do it again, you pay them more.
Mm.
If they do the work fast and great the first time, you pay them the least. So they make the least amount of money that way. So where do you think the incentive is if you're paying them by the hour? A critical reason why we don't do it that way, because
Yeah.
we want to be on the same side of the table as the customer, because we're ultimately want them to have the most uptime, the most efficiency, and I as an IT company want to be rewarded when I make that happen.
Right. Yeah, I think projects comes up a whole lot too. Can we stick this thumb drive in and do this audit? And ooh, look at all these projects we need to do for you. And
Right.
they're just seeing cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching in their
Yep.
eyes,
Yep.
and you're like, well, it needs to be done, but yeah. So usually, that's you got to look at how they're making money. I
Right.
guess is kind of where it comes down to. Make sure they're on your side and not just looking out for themselves and as much money or opportunities as they can get.
Hmm.
Yeah. One of the things that we've been doing over the last several years, we're real big in Microsoft 365,
Hmm.
and we know it really well. And we've been eliminating people's office servers.
Yep.
It's not always needed anymore. In a lot of cases, it's not needed. And a lot of the roles or functions that those servers are doing, Microsoft 365 now has the ability to take those over.
Hmm.
And yeah, a lot of companies want you to just keep on buying new servers. Again, it goes to a project, all the migration and transfers. But yeah, Microsoft 365 has a lot of ability to take that on.
Absolutely. I've got several clients where they're always going to have a server. So obviously, it doesn't fit everybody.
Right.
Some applications have to be in house. You have to have hardware on site, and that's great. But I have, just like you said, I have more that are the other way, where I have sold less servers over the past 3 years than I sold
Mm-hmm.
over the past since we started the company, because we're able to take people to in this, most of the time it's Office 365 and SharePoint and Teams and OneDrive and all that goes with it.
Hmm.
And it works exceedingly well. And one of the best things I love about it is that Microsoft keeps giving you more stuff. Every month they add more to it, and they
Yeah.
usually, it doesn't change the license price, or you don't have to buy more. You just like, hey, now you have this thing that you can do that maybe you were paying for over here, and now you don't have to pay for it. It's just included.
Yeah,
Um,
the whole ecosystem is all
Absolutely.
together, integrates together. All of your
Yep.
logins are the same.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Case
it's
in
pretty
point,
slick.
we have a client that right at the start of COVID, they had a small in-house server. Everybody was work from office, so what, WFO, I guess.
Hmm.
And then they asked me, it's like, what do we need to do to work from home? We got to send everybody home because COVID means we can't be here. Like, well,
Right.
we've talked about this in the past. We can move you Office 365, and then really there's nothing that you need here. They're like, well, can you do it in 4 days? I'm like, well, sure. So we did it in four
Yeah,
days and we got to move. Well,
that's
fast
awesome.
forward a year, they have hired 50% more people. Um, but now, instead of just hiring in our local area, which is usually where they had to source their talent pool, they're hiring all over the country.
Hmm.
And so they'll hire somebody, they'll give us a call, say, hey, Lance, we just hired so and so. We need a computer. We need a phone. We need some monitors, and we need you to ship it all to them. And so we
Hmm.
do all that. We send it over, and now they're able to source their talent pool nationwide. And they've now come to the conclusion that for the most part, most of their workforce is going to stay work from home because they've grown like a weed during COVID when
Hmm.
everyone had to be home. Well, then now they're saying, well, we don't need as big an office. We don't need as many people here. They can be anywhere. And now we can hire anywhere. And so it was all advantages and no downside. Now, granted, that example doesn't work with absolutely everybody, but it works with a lot of people. It works with a lot of organizations, or at least part of the organization. So taking your stuff to a cloud base such as Office 365, for example, I did this with some architects where we took them to a cloud solution for architecture files, which kind of has some special requirements. And they're hiring people all over the country because they don't even have an office. And it's
Yeah.
working so well.
Yeah. And, a lot of the times, if they did need on site support in different areas of the country, we have that capability as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah. But yeah, with Microsoft 365, yeah, you have your teams, your collaboration, virtual meetings, email, of course, file storage, and most likely you don't even have to pay anything additional
And
on
great
your licensing.
security. That's
Yes.
that's that's become so important. I mean, we just had the Colonial Pipeline hack that we talked about together.
Hmm.
It was about a month ago or so. There was another one, and I just forget what it was. It was just like yesterday. And security has become so paramount, and that's one thing that's been really great with 365's on Microsoft's platform here is they continue to up the game on security and make it very easy to have that be built in at all levels from the get-go.
Right.
So we're not having to, like, every time we do something, make sure all the security is right and all that, because it's there to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Another item that I had on my list was consolidating vendor services.
Yeah,
And I know you and me before we went live, we're kind of talking about that. So I wanted to let you kind of expand on that a little bit.
absolutely. So one thing that we don't see a lot of IT companies doing out there is making sure they are handling everything for a client that has something to do with IT or something to do with technology. Um, when you've One thing we'll do when we take a client on is we'll say, hey, bring us your internet bill, bring us your phone bill, bring us your copier bill, bring us your, all those various things,
Mm-hmm.
because usually we can save them at least a small amount, in some cases a substantial amount of money, by moving those to different things that we either control ourselves or we have a hand in, so that not only are they not having to manage 16 different relationships, they manage one relationship with us, we manage the rest for them,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they save money. I've taken some people and I've cut their phone bill in half. I've taken their internet bill and cut that in half or better. And this is things that if you're an organization, once you kind of like have your internet in place, you're not shopping for new stuff all the time. I mean, you got work to do, right? So
Yeah.
us as an IT provider, we're looking at the whole picture. What is everything that it takes to deliver you IT, right? Well, internet's part of that. Phones anymore are part of that. Email's definitely part of that. So we want to look at that whole picture and find out what can we do for you that impacts your bottom line in a positive way the most, right? How can we make you more efficient? How can we make you more money at the end of the year, right? And sometimes that involves right sizing your IT and maybe getting some more security that you didn't have before. But at the end of the day, if it's going to protect you and help your company prosper, well, then it's usually the right move.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it could even be the same service, but maybe we have a higher volume discount that we
That's
can,
right.
pass
Absolutely.
their way.
I've done
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I've, or another item is still on consolidating vendor services, but if we're doing the IT for you, and then you want to use, our security cameras or our phone
Hmm.
system or these different things, yeah, you'll still have to buy that equipment, the hardware,
Right.
but you're not going to be paying us in labor
Yeah.
to hook it up.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. That's the best part about the way that you and I both do business is that,
mhm.
labor is all included, right?
Yeah.
So, and when we say, you're not going to pay us for labor, it's like that's straight up. You're not going to pay us for labor. So if it's something that we're handling for you, then hey, labor's there. We've switched out full phone systems for places, and they don't pay a dime in labor.
Hmm.
And they sometimes they don't believe it until they never get a bill. It's like, I told you,
Right.
you're not getting a bill. It's covered.
Yeah.
Which really makes predicting what your IT spend. This is something that we always go over with prospects. Is you never know when you're paying by the hour or you're paying by the project, like you were talking earlier. You don't know what your IT spend is going to be that year. It's a big
Hmm.
question mark. And so, with the way that we do things, both WolfGuard and you and I, you know what it's going to be. If you add a person, it's going to go up by this amount to cover that person. If you subtract a person, it's going to go down, and your
Hmm.
labor bill is always going to be zero.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are all three, I think, great points that pretty much, like I said, anyone can use to try and
Yep.
save some money or have a better idea of what your budget will be for the year.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, everyone can benefit from those. You have
Absolutely.
anything closing that you'd like to add?
So in closing,
Mhm.
what I would recommend that anybody watching this do is if you use an outsourced IT in any fashion, I would ask them, hey, in what circumstances am I paying for labor, and in what circumstances am I not? And find out, you know, how that works, so you really understand when you're paying the money and what you're paying the money for. If you are paying them by the hour, then I implore you to check out a different way of doing things. If you're you can reach out to one of us, and if we're not in an area where we can help you, we generally have partners that do it the exact same way. So you really in 2021, you should not be paying for labor for your IT anymore. That
Right.
is given a blank check to an IT provider that you have no control over. So I would have everybody check into how that's working for you. Ask how they are on your side of the table when they only make money if you're broken.
Yeah, I've noticed a few IT companies as well. Just to add a little bit, that will say, "Oh yeah, we don't charge for that, that whatever item you're talking about, going on site and fixing that printer." But then you look at their actual agreement, and sometimes it says otherwise.
Yeah,
And so some can't always trust the sales guy, I guess, is
that's right.
the unfortunate truth.
That's right.
But yeah, thanks, Lance, again for
Absolutely.
joining us. One last thing is I just wanted to offer everybody, our ebook that we created. This is just 11 very common security things that we've found when we've been onboarding new clients that are almost missed or ignored by their previous IT company. So you can download this ebook, and it'll just give you some talking points that you can talk with your existing IT, your internal IT, or new ones that you're looking to hire. It's a very non-technical list, but things that you can just communicate with your IT person, make sure they're getting done. Yeah, thank you very much, and until next time, everyone be safe.
See you later.